You might think your cockatiel's courtship begins when she builds a nest, or when an egg appears. But no, her courtship begins much earlier. And the most curious thing is that, inside the house, sometimes you don't even realize you're in the middle of it. It starts with something simple. Attention. That attention that seems like just curiosity. Your bird observes you from the top of its perch, quietly, head tilting quickly, as if it were reading you. And that's exactly it. Before choosing a partner, the cockatiel asks a silent question. Who here is trustworthy? Who here is worthwhile? And tell me something. Does your cockatiel have a favorite person in the house? Comment now. Is it you? Is it someone in the family? Because that's the first sign that she's already forming a preference, and preference is the first spark of a bond. You'll notice that this preference appears in small things. She waits for you to pass by. She gets excited when you enter the room. She changes the way she sings depending on who is nearby. And some owners think this is just neediness. But it's more complex than that. She's building an emotional map of the house. And in that map, someone starts to occupy the most important place. Then comes the phase that almost no one identifies as the beginning of a relationship. The study phase. Your cockatiel notices how you move, whether you're calm or abrupt, whether your hand approaches gently or intrudes, whether you respect her when she retreats. Because, in her mind, a good partner isn't the most affectionate. It's the most predictable. The one who doesn't scare her. And then when she senses that you're predictable, she changes her body. Her crest rises higher when you arrive. Her gaze becomes more lively. She starts to position herself in a way that puts you within her field of vision. And this seems like a small thing until you understand what comes next. Because, at some point, she starts to show up for you. It's not just being near. It's showing off. And the first show is often silent. The posture changes. It stands more upright. The neck lengthens. And then, it does what many people find funny, but it's a clear message. The little wings lower slightly, the body tilts, the tail opens slightly. It's the famous heartwing pose. It's a gesture that says, "Look at me." And here you realize, your cockatiel isn't just living by your side. It's trying to impress you. Have you ever seen it do this out of nowhere and thought, what a crazy bird? Well, it's not out of nowhere. There's usually a trigger. It could be your presence, your voice, a moment of the day, a song, an object. And when that trigger happens, it starts rehearsing courtship behavior. Even inside the room, even far from any other bird. And the owner's shock is exactly this. But it's flirting who? Sometimes it's flirting with the mirror, sometimes a toy, sometimes it's a part of the house. And yes, sometimes it's you. But a cockatiel's courtship isn't romantic like ours. It's biological and emotional at the same time. It chooses what seems safe, present, and constant. And if you're the one providing routine, food, attention, and predictability, you can become its reference point. Then comes a sign that many people confuse with affection, but it's one of the most intimate signs of bonding. It tries to feed you. It approaches with its beak, makes that throat movement, and it seems like it wants to give something. This is called regurgitation. It seems strange to us. But for a cockatiel, it's a gesture of a couple. A gesture of care. I take care of you. And when it does this to you, it's placing you in a position that, in nature, would be reserved for a partner. And here comes the emotional turning point of the video. Noticing this changes your perspective. Because your cockatiel isn't just responding to what you do. She's trying to create an active relationship. She's offering bonding. In her own way. With her own signals. And sometimes, you unintentionally enter this game without realizing it. Because when you reinforce certain behaviors, you become part of the ritual. For example, you react with a lot of emotion when she makes the heart wing gesture. You talk to her, you give her extra attention. She learns. This works. And she repeats it. And repeats it more strongly. And then, out of nowhere, you have a cockatiel that sings loudly, gets agitated, becomes possessive, starts defending a corner of the house, and you think she changed personality. But she didn't. She just evolved the bond to a more intense level. And here's an important point. This courtship can be beautiful, but it can also become a problem if she starts to see the house as nesting territory. The next phase, after the display, is the nesting project. And this appears before any eggs are laid. She starts looking for dark corners. She goes behind the sofa. She wants to get into the closet. She gets into boxes. She becomes interested in cracks, drawers, under furniture. And the owner thinks it's just curiosity, but often it's preparation. And her mood also changes. She may get more irritated when you move that corner. She may scream when you leave. She may call more. She may want contact all the time. Because in her mind, a partner doesn't disappear. A partner stays. And if you have two cockatiels, this process becomes even more dramatic. Because courtship isn't just being together. There are tests, there's competition, there's choice. One may put on a show and the other may ignore it. One may try to feed and the other may not accept it. And you can see in detail who is investing more. But even with just one cockatiel, the biggest issue is she might try to turn you into a partner. And I want you to think about a simple question. How do you react when she shows off? Do you unintentionally reinforce it? Do you pay attention at the peak of the behavior? Do you let her stay in corners that look like a nest? Because these small permissions are like saying yes in her language. And look how subtle this is. Sometimes courtship begins with your routine. You always arrive at the same time. You always sit in the same place. You speak with the same voice. You offer the same hand. She associates it. And when her body reaches maturity, she looks for an anchor. Something constant. And that anchor can be you.